What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? So you guys don't have to stay on mute for this. Um, I am a big proponent in letting people engage in what's going on and being able to, ask the questions as are necessary. And if you don't understand something, please raise your hand, stop me. I don't know. There's like multiple things that can happen here. If you want to share your screen or whatever, just let me know beforehand so I'm not super surprised. All right. Some of you may know each other, some of you may not. You're more than welcome to engage in the chat. I do have let me share my screen real quick. I do have I don't know why it's not wanting to do that. Hang on. Of course, I got technical issues right away. Um, so if you guys don't mind, when you are engaging or anything like that, can everybody see my screen? Awesome.
On my end, it's black. Just if
Better?
there's oh, now I can see it.
Okay. Yep. All right. So this is the school group, right? Obviously, you all are very aware of that. Um, Down here, I have, some check-ins, and, today is the day. Day one, intro to sold out ads, right? If you guys wouldn't mind just commenting below as you guys were just as if you were in the chat, and I'll be, asking questions and stuff like that, and you guys can put some of the answers in there. I'll get back to you probably right after this workshop. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Some of you may or may not know how exactly I got started in this. Um, I was very, very much a part of being in the technology industry and in the engineering and maintenance space. So I automated things, big, giant corporations and stuff like, manufacturing corporations and things like that. And so I was very, very much into technology and I absolutely loved it. When the plant that I was doing a bunch of stuff for, they decided that they wanted to go down, and they shipped everything off to India. They're still in the process of doing that. It's actually like, like $14 billion thing that they're trying to send over. That's just crazy. It's been going on for like a couple of years now. But I was like, you know what? I was like, I would love to do something in this space that gives back to other people. And, with my love of technology and my love of talking to people, my love of messaging and being able to shine people's light, this was the one thing that really combined them all. And so I absolutely love doing this for people and running ads and, helping out with their messaging and getting them, a little bit more clear on what it is that they want to offer the world to shine their light. So that's just a little bit of backstory on that. Some of you in here already, we have met quite a few times. And we have worked together in some capacity and in some way, and you'll find out, hey, I'm just a fun guy. Okay, period. I'm just a fun guy. Cheryl, I know you're super fun too. And Kelly, love you. Lynn, love you too. Laura, absolutely love you too. And my Fathom note taker, hey, I got love for you too. That thing follows me around everywhere. All right, so let's get started a little bit. So the intro to ads, what I really wanted to do for this, and just to be clear, I don't like fully structure these workshops. I just kind of go with the flow with it because I am 100% soul led, and I just, as you guys are evolving into it, what you want to know, I'm going to give you that as well. There are specific things that you must do that are a little bit mechanical because we're working with like a third party type of thing. But we'll get into a little bit more of that. And I think yeah, that's better. Maybe I'll turn on my little halo light. Um, so with this, the introduction, there's a couple of things that you must know. when you run an ad, before you run an ad, you must be extremely clear on a few things. One is who it is that you are talking to, right? You must be clear on that. Okay. Two is that you must know where it is that you want to put that. Where are they at? Where are they really like noticing you? Okay. Another thing, I will go into a little bit of the Facebook stuff, most of the Facebook stuff tomorrow. But with Facebook and Instagram and things like that, if you don't have a large budget to run your ads, like I call it, well, industry standard large budget is anything over $1,000 a month, right? And so that comes out to, I forget what it is, like $50 a day or something like that. If it's a micro, anything under that is considered a low budget. And then there's also a micro budget, which is anything under $100 a month. Okay. So there's specific things that you must do to run a low budget. And I'm going to stick to this low budget thing because I think a lot of people kind of they think that just running the ad is going to get you what you want. It will in some capacity. However, in Facebook and Instagram, you must have some kind of following and engagement for it to work properly. Okay. Those are lookalike audiences, things like that. And there's specific ways to set that up, and we will go into those tomorrow. You got a question?
I
Go
do.
ahead, Cheryl.
So the question takes us back just a little bit because you said you need to know who and where they are, where being the demographic area, like or geographic area. Or I know when we worked together, we looked targeted at maybe an income level. I can't even remember, but it's been a while. So could you answer my question, please, sir?
Yes, I can answer your question, no problem. When I say where they're at, I mean like what platform? Like what platform? Where are they hanging out at, right? So one of the thing that most people don't know is exactly what demographic is the majority of each platform, right? So 18 to 25 is TikTok, okay? 25 to 55 is usually Instagram, and the majority of Facebook users are 45 to 65. Right? So that can really tell you exactly where it is that those people are. Now, that's not to say that you won't also get the following or the people. There's a lot of, a lot of commingling, right? How old is YouTube? YouTube, their demographic is pretty much widespread. YouTube in itself is where most people go to find a solution to their problem, right? Between that and Google, right? It's kind of the same, it's the same thing. And we'll get into that in day 3 on Google itself. My goal for you guys is to be able to go, okay, this is the platform that they're on. This is how I want to run this. This is the stage that I'm at, and this is the budget that I'm going to use, and I'm going to stick to it. Because one of the craziest things that I keep seeing is a lot of people, they start off with this budget, and then for some reason they try to scale, and then the budget just dies, right? The budget dies, and then your ad dies. Your ads will die once you try to scale. And that is usually because we didn't start off with an engagement of some kind. And when I talk about engagement, and we'll go into a little bit of the nomenclature, if you got any questions on that, let me know. The engagement part of that is when I run an engagement ad, it's usually around $2 to $3 a day per each one. Okay. The most famous one that I could imagine is this guy named Charlie. He's called the Professor. He's amazing, and he has this system where he goes, okay, this is how I'm going to help somebody grow. Now, this guy did I believe he did like Tony Robbins and Simon Sinek and a couple other like big name people, and this is how he grew their stuff, right? And so they start off with an engagement in social media somewhere, even in well, you can't really do that with Google, but engagement there, and then go, okay, $3 a day for like 6 months. And what that did was it amassed data, right? He said that we didn't spend any more than like, I think it was like $400 on that 6 months, right? So in that, he was like, okay, once you get that data, then you turn on the ad. The ad immediately, with that same data that it has, it will now target those individuals. Now, we're not selling anything in the engagements, okay? These are values. Usually, you already have some of the creative and everything else involved in that. You have it already. It's usually on your Instagram. I suggest using Instagram because Instagram is really, really easy to go from Instagram to Facebook, but it is really difficult to go from Facebook to Instagram. It just doesn't match up 100%. Okay, that's just a little back on that because I know a lot of you guys are probably going to stick to social media stuff because you have followings there and whatnot already, and then you can use a lookalike audience to go, okay, target these people for all these engagements. And these engagement posts can be anywhere from value to asking a question or just getting people to start to notice you, right? And there's no button, there's no call to action there, just so you know, right? With these ones. When that happens, what it does is it starts the conversation, just like if it was regular you posting. But instead of you posting and you only, getting out to, 50 people, you're going to get it out to thousands of people a day, thousands that are looking already like the audience that you have. Hey, Janine, good to see you. So once that happens, and then you're able to take that data, and I'll show you guys that a little bit tomorrow on how to actually get into your stuff, and then go, okay, this is how I'm going to make this audience, and then use that audience across the board for the rest of your ads. A big one that I keep seeing is people that run their ads, they delete their ads. Don't ever delete your ad. Don't delete it. Yeah. Don't ever delete it. So any of the ads in the platform, never ever delete them. If you delete them, you are now telling the system, you are basically wiping its memory. And now you are going to have to start all over again. So you want it to have that data. The algorithms and stuff work off of data. The cleaner the data that you put in, the cleaner the ads are going to run, the faster they're going to run, the faster they're going to be able to match the people up with who your target audience is. I'm just going to call them matched audience. I don't really like target audience. Feels funny when I say that. Okay. And I was going to use a bunch of these slides and stuff like that, but in reality, the slides really aren't going to give you anything more than I'm already giving you here. You're probably going to be able to write this stuff down faster and quicker than the slides. And the slides, they didn't really look that good. I don't like them. So there you go. It just didn't feel aligned to me. So I was like, just deal with these slides. And I made like this whole big, like 80 slide presentation. It was crazy. I'm not going to do that. So in the intro in itself, I really want you guys to be able to look at the anatomy of an ad, right? And give me 1 second here. I'm actually going to go into the ad library of Facebook, and I'm going to share my screen. This is a great place to get your get some ideas, like really get some ideas on what people are doing in your industry and how they are actually um, like their message that they're doing, whether or not it's even most of it, I'll be honest, might not even align with you, but it will help you kind of create something that you can say, okay, we know that other people are kind of doing something similar and it works. Okay. Now, not all of these are absolutely fantastic. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So this is the ad library. So it's facebook.com/ads/library. Okay. Some people know about this, some people don't. I think I got there's somebody else in here. I'm not even paying attention to the chat. Hang on a second. No. That's why you get messaging us if you want to boost your post. Yes. So boosting the post. Hold on a second. This is a big one. Great question, Kelly. Boosting the post is outside of the ads realm. Okay. It doesn't capture data. It does, but in a very small capacity, right? It's going to, basically tell them like their name and, just kind of that's pretty much it. Well, it does have a few other things in there, whether or not they viewed it and stuff like that. But what you want is followers, and then you want the data off of the following. That's the 1% that you're looking for. So in order to do that, you have to go into the ads manager itself and create an engagement uh, um, campaign just for that, and then it will capture all the data. It will even capture the data out when they go outside of Facebook, when they go visit sites, and when they go like buy, and believe me, they have I forget how many data points they have. It's like in the thousands of data points for people on Meta. Google too. Google's probably got more, I think. Right. Let me. How do I do that? Oh yeah. So the ads library. So in here, you could search the ads themselves, right? United States, whether or not it's, whatever it is. The ad category, if you are in any of these, I know, Janine, you'd be in like housing or something, right? If I'm not mistaken. And if you don't have any of those, all ads. This is what I do before I run campaigns a lot, is I will go in there and I will search something. Oh, look, simply the best results. That is interesting. That, right? Um, that's because I think I'm still a manager on your social media. But if you were to type in, let's just say, um, somebody give me something. Give me some holistic health practitioner. How about that? That sound good? Okay, I spelled that incorrectly because I'm. Oh, look at that. So in here, it will come up with anybody who has that as like a keyword in some of their stuff. Some of them maybe books, family nurse practitioner, right? There's a lot of stuff in here. You can get lost. I highly recommend setting a timer when you're in here. I'm being dead serious. I have lost hours. The unfoldment of hours that I have spent in here could have been used to do other things, I'm sure. I'll just say that. Okay. Set a timer, usually 20, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour if it's really like that. And you can actually go in here. Even if you're running an ad as well, you can go in here and find your own ad and see what it's really looking like. But you don't really need that. Once I show you how to do this stuff, you'll be able to see the previews and everything else. But these are other people that are doing something very similar. We'll just take like this divorce self-care here. All right, I gotta move your guys' head, all of your heads over here. Okay. Self-care for divorced moms, right? And they have multiple ones. They're using this is a carousel one, and it has like an Instagram. This is, I believe, going to be don't know why it's not. Is it going to send me somewhere else? Probably. Oh yeah, it sends me right there. So they are running a engagement ad. You see how it went straight to, it's trying to have me go to Instagram. And then what it wants is you to look at their Instagram stuff and follow and like them, right? They're trying to build an audience. Some of these other ones, we can also see the details of it as well. And of course, I got to move everybody's head again, right? You can see the messaging that they have, right? It will show you all that stuff and exactly how it is that they use hashtags and stuff like that. Hashtags are, if you want to make it look like a post, use hashtags. Not necessary with an ad, because with an ad, it's already doing its thing. The hashtag is there to help the reach. Screw the reach on the hashtags. Seriously, you're paying to play at this point, right? And also give you, who they are. Say they have 103 followers. You could probably check back in maybe a couple of weeks, and they might have 400. So this is what I know about running these the beginning engagement style ads. You are going to get the most amount of followers in the first 10% of when it runs and the last 10% of when it runs. Okay. The first 10% of when it runs is because it's finding all those people that already know, love, and trust you, right? From your lookalike audience. The last 10% of when it runs is it's now very, very in tune with who other people are that look just like that audience. Okay. So there's ways, and I don't want to get too deep into that particular part of it, because there's advanced ways that you can stop the ad when it hits a certain amount of impressions. So say you want to stop it at 5,000 is a good way to test. If you want to stop it at 5,000, there's a custom automation that you could do with the advertising to where every single one of these hits at 5,000 impressions, so that you have a baseline to be able to judge, okay, is this working for me? Is this not working for me? And then move on to the next one, right? I highly suggest using using 3 of them at a time for a specific time frame. Yeah.
For 3 different ads? Is that what you're saying? 3 different?
So
Okay.
when we do the campaigns tomorrow, you'll see that it'll have 1 campaign, 1 ad set, and then 3 ads.
Got it. Okay.
Right? And those are the ad creative. Those are the ones that you would take off of Instagram. It's basically it's you can think of it as boosting a post, but think of it as like boosting a post on steroids.
Okay.
Right? Because you're going to take that and say, I'm going to use this creative for this one, this creative for this one, and this creative for this one. You're going to use the same comments, the same description, everything else that post that you already made has in it. And then once that happens, then you can be able to see over that time frame or over that 5,000 impressions, which one is working amazing, which one has the most engagement, which one has the best following, right? Your cost per follow, your CPF, and that's done by going, okay, this is the amount of impressions that I have, this is the followers that I have, this is the amount that I spent, right? And just like any other average, however many, first divide that, right? And then you'll have
So
your
this is
cost per follow.
ABC and D or A, B, and C testing kind of thing.
Exactly.
What
The
connects?
A/B testing, this is a way to bypass the A/B testing.
Okay.
Because the
Well,
A/B testing, and this is another great thing that you're bringing up, the A/B testing in itself, uh, you are working within the parameters that are limited within the algorithm to run an A/B test. Now, when we bypass this, now we are completely bypassing it and saying, run these ads, and it's going to just scramble and go nuts.
okay,
Right?
gotcha.
And it's going to do the same thing every single time. When the A/B test happens, it's going to do the same thing every single time, but it's going to do it in a limited capacity because it knows that you're just testing.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's whether or not I understand. I won't repeat it back, but I understood.
It's
We're
okay.
good. We're
It's
good.
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
We can go very far down a rabbit hole with this, right? And
Yeah.
I don't, if I'm losing you guys, let me know. Let me know. This in itself is to me is a pretty basic way to do your first testings, right? Because then out of those three, there's going to be one that's going to be amazing. You're gonna have 5,000 impressions. You're gonna have 100 followers off of that one, and the other ones are gonna have 40, maybe 30 off of the other one. And then so what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn those off, and then you're gonna put two more
Yeah.
in the places of the other ones, and you're gonna do that, right? You're
I
gonna just
noticed
cycle
that
that.
as you were scrolling through all the different ads, that a couple of them had videos. What do we know about the static photos or carousel versus video on the engagement side at that
Good,
level of
good question. Good question.
it?
Video will win every time. Video will win every single time. And not a polished video. I'm talking about a video that you took with your cell phone that's gritty. And I mean, if you love to swear to do your your detailed words, not a problem. Send it out. Sorry, I know it's not very professional, but I'm telling you, I've seen those go bananas. They will crush it because it is authentically you, right? Do not, please, do not use a stock photo. Do not use a stock photo. Please use something that is authentic to you. Okay. Videos will win every single time. I can guarantee that. But if you don't have a video, then you could use a static ad. I know, Cheryl, we use statics for you as well in the past. That worked very well. They they were just popping, and I was like, oh, okay, this is amazing. But we did polish them quite a bit, right? I had my creatives person go ahead and polish them up really well. Um, you don't need to do that. I mean, you can. It can turn out really well for you in the beginning when you're looking for very quick leads and your targeting is good and you have that data and you have a following already. Yes, that can work very well. However, if you really want to get to grow and scale and be larger than you are now at a large capacity, this is the way to do it. Dead serious. Okay. If you're not looking for that, and if you're just looking for local stuff and stuff like that, go to Google. Google is amazing for local. Okay. That's one of the biggest things I see. Some people, they want foot traffic. They want one-on-ones in person. And if they want one-on-ones in person, Google is the best way to do that. And you do that just like what I'm talking about here with the engagement. You must grow a following and all this other stuff. There are specific things that you must do in Google to be able to do that as well, but it is through keywords, more specifically positive and negative keywords, right? And then on top of that, then excluding other locations. Most people don't do this. Most people will never exclude a location. So what happens in Google when you don't exclude a location, it puts it out everywhere. Even if you tell it that you want it to be, let's just say it's like, I don't know, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You tell it Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, this is where I want the people to come from is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It goes, okay. And then it puts your ads out in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., and Rhode Island, and New York, and all these other places. You're going to see people from, I even get them, like, even if they're associated with that place, they could be living in Africa and visited or looked up something online in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it will show the ad to them. Okay. So Google's a little different. I'm going to stick to social media just for a second. Um, Regardless if it's Facebook or Instagram, the how you do this is the same. Okay. there are specific, and we'll get into when I show you guys. I don't know, Cheryl. I'm going to. So this is how I'm going to do it tomorrow. So I'm actually going to ask one of you to share your screen if you have an ad set up already. Cheryl, I know yours. I could actually get into yours. I
I
don't
mean,
even. Yeah.
you're welcome to share mine. I don't, it would take me longer to figure out where it is than it would be for you to figure out where it is.
But I also wanted to walk you guys tomorrow through actually setting up the ad manager itself. Okay. One of the things that you must have done before we kind of do that is that you must have your professional turned on in your meta. Does anybody not have their professional turned on? Kelly,
Oops. How do you know if your professional is turned on?
your professional dashboard?
Yeah, I mean, if it was set up by somebody else, but it's a business account, would that tell me my professional is turned on?
If it is a business account, the professional is all automatically turned on.
Okay.
I only say this because some people have a personal account, right, that they're using for their business, and that will not work. You must turn on the professional dashboard as a personal account.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm good. Can I go back and ask one quick question? When
Sure.
you're talking about setting time limits, I got confused as to whether you meant number of impressions or time frame for the week.
Uh,
And what you said, you do one ad campaign with 3 sets of ads, and then you said, but you run it for 6 months, but
yep.
something about 5,000 impressions. So I got
Gotcha.
super confused.
No, no worries, no worries. So
That's me.
I think you're in the Vibe Day. In the Vibe Day, we're going to go into a little bit more advanced automation stuff for that and the data in itself. And I'm going to actually show you how to put that marker in there so that they stop,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But if you're not in that, what I used to do was just do the time frame in itself. Like I'd set an ad for 1 week,
Mhm.
right? In reality, I didn't set the ad in itself in the program to do for a week. I did it for an ongoing, but I made my own marker of after a week I'm going to stop this, or after a week I'm going to check on it and make sure that one is winning, one is not winning,
Okay.
and then turn those off and then put other ones in its place. So I did it every day on Friday,
Okay.
right? But they were continuous. I mean, it was like $3 a day or something like that.
Okay. And this is kind of maybe outside, but tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be traveling, so I'm going to have to watch these videos in replay. Would
Mhm.
it be helpful to send questions so that those could be addressed in case
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah,
pops up?
yeah. Just
Oh,
you could DM me the questions or put them in the I'll have a actually, yeah, just DM me the questions and
okay.
I'll put them up for everybody to see just so everybody can benefit from them as well.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep, not a problem. All right, where were we? Yes. So when we are looking to run these particular ads, this platform in itself, this meta ads as library is a great resource. I'm going to tell you one more time. Set a timer. Please set a
So
timer.
how do we know what's a good ad and what's not when we're looking at the library?
This is where your intuition comes in.
Okay, got it. We're good.
Okay. I'm being serious
Okay.
because they do
Appeals
not
to
they're not
us.
going to discriminate. They're not going to tell you like this is a winner. This person sucks. This ad sucks. Like they're not going to do that, right? But what they are going to do is they're just going to give you all of them, and then as you scroll through them, you can kind of pick them out. I mean, like this one right here probably works real well. This chiropractic one, I can guarantee you that that's a testimonial right there. right? And I don't some of the stuff, wholehearted healing and readings.
So how do you know? What made you say that you can guarantee that that's a good one, the chiropractic one?
Because of the quality of video. First of all, it's raw. It looks raw in itself, but also slightly polished,
Okay,
right? It's
gotcha.
not something that, I know you come from Kathleen Cameron's energy. That
Yeah,
woman's not all done up and she doesn't have like this amazing background in the back and not all that, right?
gotcha.
When you see people at that level, they've already have the engagement. They have the following.
Yeah, the
So
raw.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I see a lot of people working at doing the same thing that they see these other high level people at,
Uh-huh.
right? When that stuff don't work for people that are at a lower level. It doesn't. I'll be dead serious. I don't know how many times we've tried stuff like that and it just crashes. Serious.
Yeah.
This is the most cost effective way, and this is how they actually built that, right? I know for a fact because I've talked to her, Kathleen Cameron's head of marketing there.
Uh-huh.
Man, what is her name?
I know it too.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember her name for some reason. But I've talked to her before, and I've actually had Zoom calls with her. And
Anna.
that, yeah, Anna Rains.
Yeah,
Anna
yeah.
Rains. And she was like, yeah, she's like, that's how we did it. They started off with the engagement. They started off with a lot of just raw videos.
Can, can I
Good.
can I share my screen? Because I pulled up, well, it wasn't an ad, it was just a post. And I have questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's break it down.
Okay. See, which one are we looking at? This one. Okay, share. Are you seeing it?
I
It
might
looks
have
like,
to stop. I might have to stop sharing mine.
oh, did my request come through? Try again.
There it is.
Okay, so this was not an ad. This was just a post.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like it had 569 engagements,
Mm-hmm.
but it also had 2,300 views. And I don't know what post engagement means and post reactions. Does that thumbs up or comments or whatever?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And then what's interesting here is look at the 55 to 64 age group and then the 65 plus age group.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting. And I didn't spend anything. This wasn't an ad. It was just a post. So,
Well, it looks like it was a boosted post.
well, I don't know who did that.
Yeah, this.
I
Yeah, it
don't
says
remember
it
paying
says
for it. It looks
$19.99 spent.
maybe, yeah, that's confusing me. So not really sure how that happened unless my
So,
VA, not,
so do you see how much data that you have here?
yeah. Well, I think the most obvious to me is the age groups is valuable, especially since this was about, comparing yourself to others.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't, and 44 people shared it. Is that what that means?
Yep.
Wow.
So this would be a perfect one to add into the engagement advertising campaign that I'm talking about.
Okay. Great.
This also is a very good representation of the limited amount of data that you are getting. Because you just have these, can you scroll down for a second? That's it.
Wait, edit. No, that's audience.
Yep. So this is the audience. So you have just that function to be able to edit the audience, but that's all you get. You don't get, when they clicked on it, the
Oh,
time
what
of
time of
day,
day?
right? You're going to get some locations and stuff like that, which is good to discover your audience, but it's
Right.
not going to actually add into turning into revenue of any kind. I will be honest with you.
Okay.
Views mean zero.
Okay. Because
Views
this was
mean nothing. It's
Okay,
the follows that you're looking for.
which doesn't indicate anywhere on here what the
So
follows are.
click see all.
Oh, see all. I didn't even,
Yeah.
four
So
comments.
it doesn't even track that in
No.
here.
And this was, so we think this was a boost. I don't remember doing that, but
Yes.
okay.
I remember that actually. I think it was,
do you?
mm,
I don't remember
I don't know.
this app, 'cause I thought this was after I worked with you, but I've been considering.
It was because I thought it was odd that it kept telling me that, your post is doing amazing. And I'm like, that's
You're like, I
interesting.
don't
What are you
remember doing
talking
that either.
about? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that helps. So doing it the other way that you're describing is better because we get more information, like where are they and are they following and that kind of thing. Okay.
Yes, and then on top of that, once you get all that data and it's an engagement, then you just clone that and you turn it into an actual ad with a call to action.
Got it. Okay,
It's
cool.
basically like, by the way, I also offer this if
Mhm.
anybody's interested,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
at that point, you already have that amassed data that it's now going to search those people out and put it in front of them again,
Okay.
or
I'm
something similar. You could actually take the ad set, clone it, and then put a different ad in there. And now it's carrying all that data that it used for those follows and
Mhm.
all those people. And it's just going to start putting your service or your product right in front of them.
Got it. Okay. Now this is making sense to me. Okay. I mean,
Yep.
I understood it, but it's making more like it's in there now. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Now, when you get into the larger, this is how you scale. So then after that, right, and you start having that following, then you go to turning on an ad with that same data with a different creative. You try that same type of thing. You have those 3 different creatives in there, and you try it out for, $25 a day, right? And at that point, then you're really going to start. And to be fair, even in the engagement, you're probably going to get some sales off of that as well, right? And then you move into the other part of it, and then once you turn on the ad itself for a lead magnet, or if it's a workshop, or if it's a book that you have, or anything else like that, then that's going to really explode, right? And then you have the call to action, and then it just compounds from there. And then you use that $25 a day. You look at all 3 of those ads, and you go, okay, well, this one isn't working out correct, the way that I want it to. I'm going to turn those 2 off. I'm going to add one more in there, and I'm going to test that against the other one. And it just keeps going through like that until you've honed in exactly what everybody would love to see. Then once that happens, it's on and cracking. Then you're already getting sales. You can bump it up to $100 a day, $150 a day, and now you're making $5 on every $1 spent, or $4 on every $1. It all depends how long you've let it run, how much data it has, right?
And the bottom line is to identify that ideal market, those characteristics of those ideal people that are interested in what we have to sell, basically.
Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
this is all about, is like funneling everybody in, and only the ones that are ideal for us are getting through the chute or coming through the chute.
Exactly. So, and there's specific metrics to look at and all that. I know that stuff. I'm not real. Kelly, you and I will kind of do that on day 4, right? But realistically, in there is it can be extremely overwhelming. I'm only going to touch on the ones that me personally, I just look at. There's many other ones that I look at too, but these ones are like the key performance indicator to tell me like where they're at in the funnel, how far down that they went, and is this even working to my benefit?
Well, this brings up an interesting topic that I've heard of. This idea of self-funding ads. And how it was explained to me was that you're going to run an ad, but because of sales, or this is when people were trying to sell subscriptions, whatever, you'll get enough revenue in to cover the cost of the ad.
Mhm.
But It sounds to me like what you're saying, Rustin, is that without the engagement first and having people that start knowing, liking, and trusting you, running any ad may not be successful and become self-funding because there's two different intents.
That is correct.
Is that true? Okay.
That is correct.
And
So
so where most people fail is they don't start with the engagement, they immediately start trying to sell something.
mhm, yep.
Am I right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is correct. That is correct. Now, Cheryl and I had success with it just the way that I had structured it. We did a 14 ad set, and we actually created 14 different ad, and then we actually spread them out, and actually were testing all of the stuff at the same time. And so there was a lot of data that it was picking up. And I did that for a reason, to collect a lot of data as fast as possible. And then once we did that, then we stuck with the core three, and those core three just, I think what we ran like I think I gave you 14 days or something like that. And we had like 25 people come through, something like that in 14 days, which is pretty good without a large engagement and doing a full engagement strategy.
Okay. And then circling way back to the beginning, where are they noticing you? What platform?
Hmm.
Is noticing number of reactions, comments, likes,
You're going
um,
to get comments.
because like
Hmm.
on my Facebook and Instagram, I don't get anything. I
Hmm.
put something out on TikTok and I got 2,000 views. This is my last one, and
Hmm.
90 likes, and somebody shared. So I'm trying to figure out, is it the engagement part? And that's what the platform you want to use?
Yeah. So the guidelines of the demographic that I had told you before,
Right.
like, that's just a guideline. There are every demographic on every single social media platform,
Okay.
right? They may like that structure because that part of it is really easy for them to just scroll, see, engage,
Hmm.
scroll away,
Hmm.
right? With
Right.
Instagram, it could be a little bit more challenging, right? And then with Facebook, it's really challenging,
Right.
especially if they're working on a laptop or something like that. There's just so much going on.
Hmm.
So Instagram might be the place for you. And if you've noticed something like that, the engagement in itself is where it's at. Okay.
So it
So
would be
if
TikTok.
they're commenting and asking questions
Yep.
and prodding your subject matter expertise, that's where I'd be.
Okay. And you can still do like engagement on the TikTok platform?
You can, to my knowledge. I wasn't going to cover TikTok. I may do that in a later workshop,
Okay.
just because theirs is a little bit more involved.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, it's like a mixture of Google and a mixture of Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot of verifications that must happen, and there are a lot of intents. And I generally don't work in there too often, unless somebody is like, hey, I really have, like, I really want to do TikTok. This is where I want to do it at.
Okay.
Right.
And
Sometimes
yeah.
it could
And
just be a crapshoot. I mean, you could post something on Instagram and nobody sees it, and you post the same thing on TikTok and 50,000 people see it.
yeah.
It
And so with your platforms and demographic, there could be a lot of overlap between TikTok and Instagram
mhm.
because
Yes.
they're similar.
Yes,
Okay.
they are similar in the fact that you can't really do a lot of static stuff in Instagram and still get some engagement unless it's something compelling,
Okay.
right? Like, you guys see like the quotes and stuff from, I don't know, like Lewis Howes, or, somebody like that, and they have like lots of quotes up there and they're just a static image. They're going to get a lot of engagement, but they already have a lot of engagement from before,
Okay.
right? They have a following of people that they look at them and say, these are the subject matter experts. So no matter what you post, and this is where we want to get you guys at, is no matter what you post, now you print money.
Okay.
Any of your stuff, you're printing money. Everything just flows to and through you through that. And that only happens through doing it this way through the engagement and then going to there. We're basically bypassing virality.
Yeah, yeah, because I've never heard of this engagement stuff. I've heard of all the other types of ads, but not this.
Yeah, yeah. And we're going to go through all the different campaign types
Mm,
and conversion types that
okay.
are in Meta and Google YouTube. I'll just say Google.
Mm,
Everybody just knows it as Google YouTube for some reason in my industry.
mhm.
Um, but each one of those is specific to your campaign goal, right?
Oh,
So that was the other thing that I was going to get into today was what is your goal? Is your goal to have quick wins? If it is, that's usually not the best strategy to run it at $2 or $3 a day unless you have something that's highly compelling. And by highly compelling, I mean like, do this, your life is going to get better, and then it has somebody doing it and their life is becoming phenomenal instantly, right? That's gonna, yes, boom, you're gonna skyrocket 100% every single time,
mhm.
right? We're gonna bypass that in this though. So we're trading some of the time. It's still going to be less time than it will be posting. You're going to quantum leap in that aspect because once all that takes off, and I mean, it doesn't take very long, like 3 months, it tops. Well, actually, 6 months is probably the best. 3 months minimum, right? Then after that, then you start turning over into calls to action and your services and workshops and stuff like that. Once you start turning that stuff on, I mean, it's yeah. No matter what you have to offer, those people will want to buy.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yep. All right. I know that, see, I scheduled this for 2 hours just because I know sometimes there's a lot of questions when it comes to this stuff. So I'm going to open it up now to whatever your guys' questions are. Do you guys feel good about being able to be set up for getting into running an ad? Lynn, you don't look sure of yourself. You don't look sure of that question. I want to say yourself. You don't look sure of that question. Okay, maybe.
I'm, for me, I think I understand it better now and know what we're doing. And I know that I'm going to have you do it because I don't have time to do it.
If I had $1 for every time somebody told me that, man.
Good, right? But actually, I've been thinking about it. So it's not a new thought. I'm just understanding it a whole lot better and what we're trying to do. So
Yes.
So
Yes.
just kind of curious, with some of the stuff where, say, Instagram would say, do you want to boost this post? They don't do it on everything. So would that be a marker or something for me to take a look at to say, would this be suitable for engagement?
So when they ask you that, it's because it actually falls into a category. Like your post itself falls into a category, which means that it doesn't have copyright written music on it. It doesn't
Mhm,
have polls. It doesn't have crazy stickers. It doesn't have like a bunch of like crazy stuff that falls outside of that parameter.
mhm.
Only some can you boost. And
Okay.
those are the same ones that you could run ads with.
Right. That's what I'm wondering if that
Yes.
would be, if I'm trying to weed out how do I want to start with the engagement? Is it what freebie you want to offer them? Uh, that's where I'm confused.
Mhm.
Like,
I would look at what the engagement is on each one of those in your back office, in your business manager,
okay.
and then you're going to go to your content, and then it's going to show you a list of all the posts that you've done.
Mm,
Okay, and then in that, it's going to basically tell you like this much engagement. I wouldn't look at the views.
right.
I look at the engagement. I look at, comments. It'll tell you like how many people commented, stuff like that. When you have one that has, you know, 20, 30 comments, 40, 50 comments, and it's, engaged, 80% of the views that you have there, that would be one that I'd go, okay, I'm going to start with this one. And me personally, I make a list of them and I say, okay, I have these three. top over the last like 30 days or month or, year, however you want to do it. And then after that, then I put those aside and I put those on the back burner to go, okay, these ones I'm going to run ads with. And then, I go in and I adjust my audience, because you could do audience in a few different ways. And
What does that mean when you say audience? Because when Cheryl showed her screen,
Mhm.
that's kind of the first time I've ever seen that screen.
Gotcha. That one in itself is for a boosted post that is in your business manager.
Okay. So is there a place within, say, the Meta Business Suite you need to be to start doing
Yes.
an ad? Okay. So
Yeah.
where,
So the ads manager itself is a like a sub product of the business manager.
okay. So you'd go
Right.
into the ads manager
Yep.
and
And
from there you define your audience, or do you just
yes.
let it be open? I mean,
Nope. So we're going to define it with engagement ads. What you want is you want it to have some kind of data already. So if you already have followers, or you have, I don't know, you may have had somebody set up a meta pixel on your website
mhm,
or something like that, right? So if that's the case, then it will actually have, once you connect it, it will actually have followers, and then it will say website visitors, and then it will say engagement. I think they might have changed it to something else. Is it like engagement following or something like that?
mhm,
And the followers themselves are the top 1%. Okay. Then you have 2% and 3%, right? But the top 1% doesn't include the 2%. The 2% does not include the 1% or the 3%.
okay.
Okay. So there's something we'll get into that tomorrow a little bit on how to actually move through that. And I'm actually going to take you from business manager into the ads and look at the audience, how to set that up, and then into the ads manager.
Okay.
Okay. They're two separate entities. Most people get them very confused. You have business, then you have business suite, I think it is,
Yeah.
and then you have ads manager, and then you have event manager.
Mhm,
Get a manager for everything.
yeah.
But yes, I'm going to do my best to simplify it down to a very nice flow. And you really only have to do this once, because once you kind of get that down, you're going to be like, okay, all of my ads are going to use this, for engagement ads only, and it's going to use that, and it's going to compile. It actually does a live running tab of that data. So as more people come in, more data goes into that particular pot, and then the next ad that runs uses that data right away.
Okay.
At the same time, it's using the data that's coming in from that particular ad at the same time as well. Any other questions? Did I answer your question, Kelly? Okay. No other questions?
I just,
Michael, good to see you, man. I know you just showed up. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. Just unfortunately, I had a technical difficulty accessing the webinar. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm just starting out. I've done advertising before, but not the right way. So I'm looking to do it the right way.
Well, it
Uh,
all works. Just so you know, all the advertising works.
yeah,
It may take you a while and burn through thousands of dollars, but eventually it'll work.
understand.
Yeah.
I'm just getting into actually wholesaling real estate, and that's where I wanted to focus. So I need to learn a lot to do that right, to get
Yep.
the
Yep.
right target audience.
Yep. So that's the first part about it is building, right? And you don't have to spend thousands. I know I've, ran an ad agency for a while now, and I know I've talked to so many of them that tell you that you have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to do this stuff. And in reality, that's more after you've already done the groundwork.
Understand. So when you talk about engagement,
Mhm.
an example wholesaling real estate now. I'd want to do a post on some of the things that one needs to be aware of, for example, or give away some free ebook to for someone to take away. Is that an idea of engagement in that area?
In a way, yes. I wouldn't give away anything other than knowledge to
Okay.
people right away. Okay. So create that subject matter expertise. If you
Okay.
already had, in chances are you already have something in your social media that you're talking about, like, hey, you know, um, did you know that these three things are the best way to purchase this particular type of property, right? Or there is this law about I don't know much about real estate, as you could tell.
And
But there's like this law that most people just don't ever really notice, and it comes up to bite them in the butt later, right? And just give away that knowledge of you've been in business, you are the person that knows this, and then just start putting that out there. That's the engagement. The engagement that is defined by social media is um, likes, comments, and follows.
okay,
It's not views.
fair enough. So those are the key things. All right, so I get it. Give them something that they need to know, and establish myself as the subject matter expert.
Yep.
Yeah, got it, got it. Yeah, the I'd never I wasn't aware of the engagement part of it before, to be honest.
Most people aren't. Most people will run an ad looking to give away a lead magnet. I don't know. That's that term is thrown out. It's like water now. Like everybody is gripping onto these lead magnets, and it just slips through your fingers because it
Yeah,
doesn't really. Without that engagement, you're not really going to be able to get people that really want it unless they've already been engaged in somebody else that is doing something similar, or they've
yeah,
seen you so often that they're going to do that. But in order for that to happen, you must have the engagement first.
understand. So, and the key thing you also said is about the what did you say here about excluding? Yeah, excluding. So if I wanted to focus on the city of Atlanta, St. Louis or Atlanta, so
Mhm.
I have to tell it that, but exclude everything. What's the scope of exclusion? You have to list all the other cities, or how do you do that?
Yeah. So I'll get into a little bit of that, and I'm going to get into that in day three. But
Okay.
uh,
All right,
just
fair
real
enough.
real quick,
Yeah.
you box it in.
Okay.
You box it in. Yes. And yes, it does take a little bit of time. And yes,
Yeah.
it can be a pain in the butt, and most people won't do it.
Yeah.
They also won't win either.
Understand that it's a key thing. It might be tedious, but it's important.
Yes. And I'll actually show you guys how to use ChatGPT a little bit to do the negative keywords, right?
Yeah.
And also the keyword planner in Google to do that stuff,
Okay.
right? And
Fair enough.
what I was talking about before, sorry, I don't know if I was clear on that. It's so the locations themselves um, in Meta and Facebook, the less restriction that you give Meta, the better. Let it do its job. Seriously.
Mhm.
If you're in there and I want only people from this area, this area, this area, and you know, it's going to go nuts. But if you have that in as like, I want people from just the United States, or I want people in the Philadelphia area or something like that, that's fine, especially when you're a service based, but or a specific area. But Google is actually better for that.
Okay.
All right, when we do Google, then that's when you really add in those keywords. That's when you really add in those negative keywords and the location exclusions to box it in,
Mhm.
and then your ads will only show to the people that you would love to be able to serve.
Okay. So if I'm hearing you right, I'll have better results if I go with Google than Facebook for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, if you're targeting a specific location, yeah,
Yeah.
in the beginning, yes, 100%. Now
Yeah.
you can still run these in like as you're doing it, like, okay, I'm going to run a Google ad for this service, for this location-based service, right?
Yeah.
And then you take the Facebook ad, the engagement ad, and you still do that for $2 or $3 a day. Now
Okay.
you're still getting it shown to the people in the location through the Google ad and their Google searches and stuff like that. But then at the same time, you're also building mass data over
Yeah.
on Facebook to so that when you do run an ad that's like, hey, I am the best person in this area, you're going to have a money machine basically because you're going to offer something to thousands of people and they already know, love, and trust you.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks for that.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks, Michael.
I have a quick question, I
Go
think.
ahead.
So on my business page in Facebook, I have
Mhm.
like 260 followers.
Mhm.
On my personal page, I have 1,000 followers.
Mhm.
On LinkedIn, which is not part of this discussion, there's like 2,500 followers. How do I get everybody off of Facebook personal over there, or
Well,
so that it's using that data too?
if do you want to use that data?
Good question. Maybe not.
Are you the brand?
Am I the brand?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Is it
not the name of the company, but I am. They remember my name. They don't remember my company name.
do you use that to post valuable things about what you do?
Which one? Personal?
Personal.
Usually I put that on business, and sometimes I double up over there on the personal.
Okay. So I think a lot of people might do that. I know I do that every now and again.
Yeah.
Um, I would use them both.
Okay. We
I would
just,
use them both.
okay. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And the worst thing that's going to happen is your father-in-law is going to see it or something. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, he's going to see it anyway because he's dead. But anyway,
But you know what I mean? Like, your kids are going to see it and stuff like that because
no
and
worries.
and
They all know what I do.
it also depends on the amount of that audience is personal versus business. Were they drawn to you through knowing you personally as a like out on the street or a family member or something like that, or were they drawn to you because of your business?
I'll have to think about that. I don't know. So that's a good op. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You got
Good.
this, Cheryl. You got this.
I have a quick question. Rustin, you
Yeah.
mentioned don't do the lead magnets, as engagement. Would a blog article be an example of an engagement? Or do you not refer them anything but take information, say, from a blog article?
Yeah, you can take information from blog article, not a problem, because that's giving it for free in a way where they don't have to leave the place. So social media is a very tight container.
Okay.
They love when people stay on the platform. They love it,
Mhm.
and they will promote the heck out of it. They will promote it in twofold, even if you're paying. They will still promote it even more because you are having them stay on the platform. Now, when you ask, and that's why ads they are effective in a way, but if you're not having them stay on the platform, they're just like, okay, well, this is your stuff here, and you're gonna go to your parameters, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm getting all these ideas in from when you showed the meta ad
Mhm.
library.
Mhm.
Is it Do I showcase people with knowledge and what I know? Do I put a testimonial video from a client in the bottom? Do you have a link that has them go and read a blog article? I don't know what you do.
So, here is the strat. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I totally wanted to talk about this and I didn't talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it
Okay.
now. The strategy works like this, and I say strategy loosely. It's more like a framework. So step one is engagement.
Right.
Don't sell them anything. Give. Just give. Like just be that giving without that intention to sell them, right?
Hmm.
Then after that, then comes giving more. Now they're going to hone in on just what it is that you're doing and the stuff that you have to offer them, right?
Okay. So
And
to look
then
at your services.
well, I mean, like your lead magnet, they have a book, whatever it is, then you're still giving them the free stuff, right? You're still collecting data from them, right? So that's the give to receive.
Hmm.
And then after that, after all that, then the step three is that's when you go, I have this to offer you,
Okay.
right? Without putting those other things in place,
Hmm.
it's just basically you're just like everybody else popping up and going, I have this to offer you.
Right.
I don't even know your problem. I have this to offer you. I don't really care who you are. I have this to offer you. I don't really want to engage with you too much, and I haven't really given you anything, but I'll give you this if you give me $4,000.
Hmm.
Yeah, 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 right. And you see that a lot. I'm sure if you're on social media in any capacity, you've probably
Hmm.
seen that 100 times,
Yep. Yep.
right?
So it really is if what you're selling or what you have is information and knowledge that you believe it would be beneficial for other people to have. Like if
Hmm.
they do this piece, that would really help them out. That's what you share,
Hmm.
these
Yep.
engagement things.
Yep. And
Okay.
you'll know when it's probably one of the best engagement posts to actually run as an engagement ad because you have a very clear um, hook in the beginning.
Hmm.
Because you only have 3 to 5 seconds to actually capture somebody's attention that they're going to want to even look at it, watch it, follow you. And in that, I highly suggest you put their problem in there.
Hmm. Okay.
The problem is right up front. That's how we did your ads, Cheryl. That's how we did the static ads, and that's why they worked very well, is because we did it right up front. Like, if you are just not living the life of your dream, are you in pain over your traumatic experiences, right? Stuff like that. I'm not a huge proponent of squeezing people's pain points, but it can be very beneficial to them if you just ask them a question, you give them a choice.
I'm going to need to jump off. I have another appointment, but thank you. This has been super helpful. I'll catch the rest of it later. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll be talking.
Yes. Bye. Any other questions? Did that answer your question, Kelly? Okay. Okay. Lynn?
I've seen all of this before. Like we've kind of worked on some of this, and
You say
because
I'm
I'm not
boring? You
there
said I'm
yet.
boring.
No, no, no,
You said I'm
not at
boring.
all.
I heard that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
um, I'm because I'm sort of rebranding and relaunching. I'm not quite at the ad place yet, but I will be soon. So this was super helpful. I mean, you and I have walked through this before, so it was sort of a
You have a
familiar
familiar
path.
feel to it, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
And
all good. Thank you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know you are going to skyrocket as well once you get down exactly what it is that you're offering and that you actually do want to see in the end result. It's
Yeah,
going to be amazing. I
yeah,
will suggest though, start making some Instagram reels or something. Just
yeah,
like, look, if you're because what your target audience or your matched audience is, I'm going to use that, by the way, matched audience. That's way better. Man,
I
I
like
finally
that.
got it.
Yeah.
Matched audience is your branding is more like burnout badass, right?
Well, that's what it was. And we sort of rejigged it to say it's not just that.
Yeah.
It's like awareness. It's right. It's much bigger than just burnout.
Hmm.
But yes, it can start with that burnt out professional.
Yes. Or becoming aware of becoming aware within being aware.
Like the awareness of why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
What is the feeling?
That's the thing, right? If you're exhausted all the time and you're just running on autopilot, just doing the things you need to do just because you need to do them, and now you're aware that you're doing that,
Hmm.
you're probably burnt out.
Yeah.
So how do we get you out of it?
Yeah. So
But it's about the awareness, right?
make those Instagram reels about exactly that,
Okay.
right? Like
Yep.
30 seconds, 15
Yep.
seconds, you know? I mean, are you feeling this way? I
Yep.
remember feeling like that. I feel like garbage. I didn't like it. This is what I did to get out of it. This, and this. And just leave it like that. Don't have a call to action. Don't have any of it. Just,
And then they're like,
do, do, you,
wait.
do you resonate with it? I mean, if you resonate, hey, just let me know in the comment. I'd love to hear what you guys are going through right now. How did you
Yeah.
get out? Right?
Yep.
Something like that. And then start that connection. Because you guys know I'm all about the connection. The connection
Yes.
in itself is the first barrier that you're going to put people, or the first container that people are going to come into, that's going to start that know, love, and trust.
Yep.
If they comment on your stuff and you're right there and you're commenting back and you're a real person, you're not like, hey, sent you a DM, right? Or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, right? I do that every now and again when it's, something pertinent to that. But I also
Mm-hmm.
mention that in what it is that I'm posting. Hey, I'm going to send you a DM if you comment on this,
Yep.
right? But that's not, I would love to see you. I'll be honest, I don't see you out there. Where are you, Lynn?
Because I'm stuck right now. I'm
Oh man,
stuck
you can't
in
say
my
that to me.
messaging.
Not the
I
circles that
am
we're
though.
in. You can't say that to me.
Yeah, well, it's where I am right now.
What if you weren't stuck?
I know. I know. That's what Yuki said to me yesterday. What if you weren't?
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
You got this. You got this.
It's all good.
Yep.
It's all gonna come together.
Michael Kelly, thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much.
I'm good. I'll set up the onboarding thingy when I get back from my trip,
Awesome.
and I'll just be watching the replays. But this helped a lot, understanding how it works, because personally, I never go on social media, right? So I never engage, so I have no clue, because
Hmm.
all my posting, I just use Social Bee and I'm done,
Yeah.
and I look at their analytics and all of that. So this has been really helpful. So thank you.
Yeah. 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 And yeah, just this is kind of for everybody is, you know, social media. If you are resisting social media in some way, but still want to run ads on social media, it don't work like that. You must have some kind of container going on in social media for you to be able to engage with people on there. Right. I know I'm the same way. I literally go on the back end. I don't look at anything. I post some stuff and I just walk away. I don't even look at the analytics because the analytics don't really, right? That doesn't mean too much to me because I already know that all that's being tracked. But in the end, get excited about it. Get excited about what's to come, what it is that you're living in right now, and what it is that you're going to grow to. Right. And don't resist it. I know people out there that make millions of dollars a month off of social media, right? And I'm not saying that that could be your only goal, but they're impacting the world in a way that that is what the trade is, right? So, Michael, you got anything?
Well, actually, I was going to touch on the same thing. In terms of social media, I've done stuff on there, but very random, not consistent, and probably not the right way. Did some other online marketing before, and so I'm thinking now that I need to do all that better. When you talk about personal page versus business page, I guess that's where I need to decide what I need to do. So I need to do some rebranding, I guess. So maybe I'll need some help with that in the future because that area of it is not very good for me right now.
Yeah. Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, you reach out to me DM, and I'll send you my calendar link, and you and I can go over kind of what you're going through right now and see if I can just help you out.
Okay, super. Thanks.
Awesome. If there's nothing else, guys, um, yeah, I have another amazing call at well, it's noon my time. I don't know where you guys are at in the world, but it's almost afternoon. I want to eat something. I'm getting hungry. I absolutely love everybody. And if you guys are watching the replay, please, and anybody in here, please comment your takeaways in the post in the school group, please. So you never know who else that's going to help out that comes in later on. They may have a question of it, and you might be able to help them out in there as well. So it's all about giving. Okay, we can never really receive fully without being able to give fully without any I don't know, what do you call it? Without any motives, ill intention, right? So love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for being here and for watching on the replay too. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time.